Okay, so what if your eSIM did more than give you internet access? What if it actually protected you while you traveled? Well, that's what Saily's offering. Unlike a lot of other providers, they aren't just focused on selling cheap data, they're also prioritizing your security and privacy. Every eSIM includes built-in ad blocking, web protection, and even a virtual location feature, which is kind of like a VPN. And it's no coincidence that Saily is owned by NordVPN, one of the biggest names in online security. So in this video, we're going to test these security features to see if they really work. We'll also check their speeds, compare their prices, and even talk to a digital nomad who swears by Saily as his go-to provider. And if you're thinking about trying them yourself, then stick around because later in the video, I'll walk you through exactly how to purchase and install a Saily eSIM. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so I'm deep in the UK countryside. It's a bit cold. There are guns going off all around me, but I wanted to find a truly remote spot to put Saily to the test. And the good news, well, this UK eSIM connects to 4 different networks, and that's going to be a huge advantage for you when it comes to speed and performance. So think of this as like having a mesh Wi-Fi system. If one network has poor signal, the eSIM can just switch to another so you can stay connected. And you'd think that every eSIM provider would offer this, but they don't. And a lot of them are just locked to one network. So if that network is weak or congested, then you're basically screwed. Okay, Saily UK eSIM speed test by River. I don't think that's going to make a difference. Okay, it's fast, 50, 100, 150, 200. Okay, look at this.
Pretty good.
Whoa, whoa.
Look at that.
I could literally sit on this boggy bank, working, tethering, streaming 4K video. I could game right here if I wanted, all while using this Saily eSIM, which is pretty awesome. And what's even more ridiculous is the speeds have been faster out here than back in my office and all the other places that I tested it. Although, to be fair, those speeds were still perfectly fine for work, streaming, tethering, whatever you want to use it for. So Saily is definitely fast. And if you're tempted to get one of their eSIMs, then do use the link in the description box. That is an affiliate link. And also be sure to use our code Manito for a little discount of 15%. Okay, so I've just spent a few hours analyzing prices and comparing Saily with Airalo. And in most cases, Saily came out on top, especially for popular destinations, so places like Japan, the UK, and Australia. For both providers, the price per gigabyte drops with larger packages, but again, Saily is generally cheaper for 10 and 20 gigabyte plans. When it comes to regional and global plans, Airalo does have wider coverage, meaning their plans cover more countries. But interestingly, in places like the Middle East and North Africa, Saily covers 19 countries, Airalo only 13. Now, if you need calling and texting, Airalo's Discover Plus plan is one of the few eSIMs that includes it, but be prepared to pay a premium. It's not cheap. And there are definitely better options out there, such as buying a local SIM card. And while Saily lacks calling and texting, they make up for it with something arguably more important: security. So when you're browsing, you might not know this, but there is a lot happening in the background, and it's not good. There's malicious websites that try to steal your information so they can sell it. Then there are trackers and adverts that are eating up your data, and even third parties that are trying to find your location. So virtual location is like a built-in VPN, and Saily basically routes your connection through a remote server, allowing you to change your virtual location. For example, let's say you're in China or the UAE and you need to access certain sites. Well, Saily can help bypass these restrictions by making it appear as though you're browsing from somewhere else. Then there's the ad blocker, which basically prevents ads or pop-ups from appearing. And these can actually drain your data and slow down your browsing. And according to Saily, this can even save up to 21% of your data. So this feature, web protection, automatically blocks access to known malicious websites and trackers, basically stopping potential threats before they reach your device. And given that Saily's prices are already some of the cheapest on the market, you're essentially getting all of this for free. But of course, none of it really matters if the eSIM itself isn't easy to install and use. So once you've downloaded the app and logged in, you'll first want to select Explore Plans. And here you can either choose country or regional. For the sake of this video, I'll just get a UK eSIM and then tap Continue before checking out using Apple Pay. They also have Google Pay if you're on Android. And before you tap Install eSIM, just make sure you're on a stable internet connection. This is quite important because if your internet drops, then the installation can fail. So as long as that's okay, go ahead and tap Install. And if you're on an iPhone, you should see this window, and then you can just tap allow and then continue. Now this activating part can take a couple of minutes, and it's really important to be patient and don't close this window, and you should eventually see connecting to a network and then mobile plan setup complete. Now go ahead and tap done, and here you'll probably see primary and secondary. Primary is your regular SIM, which we can just ignore for now, and secondary is your new Saily eSIM. So I recommend renaming this to something recognizable, so just tap on secondary and then custom label. And I'm gonna call this Saily-UK 5GB. Tap done at the top, go back and tap continue, and then under mobile data, if you're ready to start using this eSIM and deactivate your normal carrier, just tap your newly named Saily eSIM and do make sure allow mobile data switching remains off. Now your new Saily plan won't activate, or the validity period won't begin until you arrive at your destination. So I recommend installing your eSIM ahead of time. That way you can do it when you have a stable internet connection and it'll work as soon as you arrive at your destination. So if we go back to the app, we can see that our data plan is now active. You'll also see that I have a Europe plan installed. I bought this just to basically show you what happens if you buy a new plan. As you can see, it's just added to my already installed eSIM. And this is another great thing about Saily, and also unlike a lot of other providers, you don't have to go through the installation process every time you buy a new plan. And if you do want to get another one, then you just tap add data. So let's go ahead and turn on the virtual location. So you can just tap here, and now you can choose a country where you want to appear. So as you can see, my current location is the UK. But if I go back to the app and choose Australia, we will now appear to be down under. And according to what is my IP address, I am in fact in Australia, so that definitely works. And honestly, I think Saily has done a great job with this app. Everything from installing your eSIM, activating security features, and buying more data is really straightforward. And it's pretty clear that Saily benefits from being backed by Nord. This is a company that has years of experience building security-focused tools that are actually easy to use, and you can tell that their expertise has been applied here. Now, if you do run into any issues, which obviously I hope you don't, Saily does have pretty solid support. I tested their in-app chat, email, and website, and they responded quickly, especially in-app, which was one of the quickest I've seen from any provider. So it all sounds pretty positive so far. But are they perfect? Well, not quite. They don't offer calling or texting, which might be a deal breaker for you. Personally, I don't mind. I use WhatsApp, I use FaceTime, but if you're a digital nomad, perhaps someone who doesn't have a home carrier or a local SIM, then calling and texting might actually be something you rely on, which is why I caught up with Jan. He's a full-time traveler who has spent the last 8 years as a digital nomad.
I think every month I purchase a new eSIM, and I usually try to switch providers as well.
Tell me who your kind of top providers are and why.
To be honest, I think Saily is my favorite eSIM provider, and that's for one specific fact. Typically, when you use eSIMs, what many travelers don't know is that they might not be getting a local IP address from the country they're traveling to. So it's typically a foreign IP address. For example, if you use Maya Mobile in Thailand, it's an Indian IP address that you're getting. If you're using Roamless in Thailand, it's an IP address from Hong Kong. eSIM for travel has Polish IP addresses in many places. That can lead to some major problems, if you ask me. And one of those problems, for example, is if you check on Google Maps, and you do that quite a lot typically. And if you check for tickets or for entry prices to certain events, then they're in foreign currencies. And that's something that I find very annoying. I mean, I don't know the conversion from Indian rupees to euro from the top of my head. It's something I would have to research. And Saily, they do have an integrated VPN, and that allows me to just simulate a local SIM card from the country I'm traveling to. So it's always in the local currency, and that's exactly what I want and what I need. And yeah, it's great.
So what Jan pointed out is actually pretty huge. Saily lets you roam like a local by giving you access to a local IP address. So the virtual location tool is designed to let you appear to be somewhere else. But by using it in reverse and setting your location to match the country you're in, you guarantee localized search results, accurate Google recommendations, and proper pricing when shopping online. Now, this won't be necessary for everyone, but in certain situations, this could be a very useful feature. And that's on top of Saily's other privacy-focused tools, as well as competitive pricing. They've got multi-network connectivity and also pretty decent customer support. So if you put that all together, They are easily one of the best eSIM providers out there. So if you want to try them out, make sure to use our discount code Manito for 15% off. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.